G'day again, I'm Joel.
And I'm Harry.
And we are from Airbourne, and we're We're the boys, and we're rocking out here. And look, I mean, like, the reason we're talking amongst ourselves here, what got us into playing, playing rock and roll, and it was just the love of rock and roll, the love of the guitars, the love of guys like Little Richard, AC/DC, and just the fun they were having playing it, and then finally picking up a guitar one day and actually learning some of that stuff, and then playing it together as a band. It was like, oh, this stuff's awesome. It's great. Why would you want to do anything else? My dad was a guitar player and songwriter, singer in Australia, and he said, if you want acoustic guitar that I could to learn on, and he said, if you want an electric guitar, first you got to work for it. And I went, well, what have I got to do? He said, well, it's over the summer school holidays. He said, you got to paint the house. So I painted the house for this Gibson SG, and then and he was like, right, well, that's the first coat. You got to do it again. So he painted the house twice, and then I got my guitar, my first guitar, and then from that day forward, it was just I reckon I must have sat there for at least a year playing an A chord and just listening to an electric guitar resonate in my hands, an A chord, and then at some point I learnt the rest of the chords, well, the power chords, yeah, the other two, and then got rocking. But I guess it all starts for everyone that way with anything. You just fall in love with it, and you just don't think about anything else. Now, this next song is kind of like that. You fall in love with guitar, and here's one of those riffs that you just fall in love with playing, Thunderstruck.
G'day, this is Harry.
G'day, I'm Joel. We are back here again from Airbourne. We're just rocking out in here, just eating pizza and drinking beers, having a party. Come on down.
My Planet Rock's on Planet Rock. Up next, we've got a track, Axe to the Wax, by a band called Johnny Crash, not to be confused with Johnny Cash. This was actually one of the, funnily enough, before I joined the band, this was one of the songs that kind of connected Joel and I at 3 a.m, just common interest and obscure as hell, boogie rock and roll band. We loved this one. This got cranked. Oh, it still gets cranked.
It still gets cranked. And talking about A chords, this is a great A chord riff.
Get the bus rocking when we've had a couple of beers, or the back bar of Cherry Bar, AC/DC Lane back in Melbourne. That was always one to have Axe to the Wax pumping through, and it's just a gutsy song title.
It is, and here it is. You're rocking out to My Planet Rocks on Planet Rock, and I'm here with Harry. And we're just.
And I'm here with Joel.
Yeah, we're here together. We're from Airbourne, and after we're going to have a break now. So we got to nip off to the dunny, as we say in Australia, or the lavvy, as you say over here, and got to have a slash, and then we'll be back talking about Bone Shaker, new record, and in the meantime, while we do that, we're going to rock this one for you. This is a good old track. It's by Muddy Waters. It's called Manish Boy. Welcome back, everybody, to My Planet Rocks on Planet Rock. Here with Harry again. Obviously, he's still here. Like, we're all here.
Haven't gone.
We haven't gone. We're still here.
The boys are here.
The boys are here. We're all here. We're rocking out. And, look, we've got to talk about the tour and stuff. We've got a big tour coming up.
14 shows through the UK and about 800 everywhere else in Europe.
Yeah, it's an 814-date tour. It's huge. It's mega. It's going to be wild. I've got some new songs in the set and some stuff we haven't played in ages, so it's going to be a rocker. Make sure you get down to it. Look, I mean, some of the places that we've played in the past that have been just mega awesome have been like just even like the old Astoria here in London. It makes no sense. Why do they knock that down for? To build a railway line? Wow, I'm sure that it could knock something else down other than the Astoria. Everyone talks about that gig. Like all the roadies say, it was the worst gig you could ever load into. It was the worst thing to load into. But the
Heaps of stairs and stuff.
Yeah. But the gig that night was what made it happen. And even, you're a roadie with a broken back from loading in all these amps and stuff, you still had a good night because of the gig. The vibe was just electric. And I never forget, though, we played it twice, back to back. It was like Friday, Saturday or something like that. It was rocking. Oh, yeah.
What would we like to play?
Look, I've always wanted to go to the moon. I know that's probably a stretch, but, I'd love to rock on the moon. But, I mean, look, we just went to South America recently. We're going back to Japan. We might be going to India for the first time. That could be cool.
Yeah, India would be great.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'd love to go to Egypt and just rock amongst the pyramids. That'd be awesome. So, I don't know. Anywhere, really, that we haven't been, we want to go. We're kind of like, where can we go next?
Yeah. Uncharted territory, just go everywhere and flag in the sand.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. On that note, what about we play one of Britain's greatest bands?
Cool.
Spinal Tap, Big Bottom.
Yeah, Big Bottom, Spinal Tap. That was Big Bottom by Spinal Tap, one of our
Bass masterclass.
Yeah, one of our favourite bands. And look, here we are, on Planet Rocks, My Planet Rocks, and we're rocking out here. And we're gonna talk about the new record, Bone Shaker, and we're gonna tell you a couple of little things we haven't told anybody yet. How we went down to Nashville and made the record, and it was a record that. Every other record took 3 months. This one took 5 weeks. It was kind of like, if you can imagine the Tasmanian devil spinning around in a circle, that was us. We made this record, and we don't really quite know what we've made, but we're all still figuring it out now. And it's just like we got there. Cobb was there, Dave Cobb, the producer. He was there, shook our hand, said, "Hi, I'm Dave. Hi, I'm Joel. Hi, I'm Harry, Ryan, Streety, and let's get to it, basically."
Let's get to it.
Off we went.
Walked into the studio and he'd had it set up exactly as Led Zeppelin 2 was recorded, basically.
Yeah.
So everything lined up together, drums with amps either side of it, so that we're in this humongous, amazing studio, but confined to probably 3 meters apart from one another, tracking that way and just capturing the energy of the band. Most of the record is probably first takes.
Yeah.
Lots of mistakes
everywhere, but the feel of them had a certain vibe. It was us, I guess, learning the song on tape, and just what we did naturally playing was, sometimes we really messed something up, but when we thought we'd really messed up, Dave would come out and say, "Guys, this is the take, this is the one. I know we didn't rehearse any of this stuff, but what you did in the breakdown there has just made the song." And we would go, "Oh, cool, we'll have a listen." And then, then he's like, "All right, cool, we got that one. We'll go get some lyrics, and then we'll move on to the next song." We didn't really, it was a different way to do things, and it was exhilarating, and it was a rush, kind of like being, I guess, on a roller coaster that's just got no seatbelts and is going for it. And and then the record was done, and we were back in Australia in mixing. And when we got back to Australia, we were just like, "What's it going to sound like?" This is the first time hearing it, and then there it was, all 30 minutes of it. I'm like, is that all we get? 30 minutes, and but it's great. It's a 30-minute punch in the face, and the more we've been rehearsing the songs, the more excited. Like we were so excited in the studio to like, oh, we can't wait to play this live. But now we're actually playing them in the set and rehearsing the set. Oh, this one's going to go great here, and this is that, and it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, and and this is one of those songs that we don't really know how we did it, but it's here, and it's called Backseat Boogie.
We've got a track for you now that's, literally the title says it all. The band says it all. It represents everything that is rock and roll. Let's go for Motorhead Rock and Roll. I'm in love with rock and roll.
I'm in love with it too. G'day, how you going again? Hope you're rocking still with us out there. My name is Joel, and I'm from Airbourne, and I don't know if you've seen the movie Still Crazy, but I have, and I love that movie. So, look, I remember being a kid, we were watching this, Ryan and I were watching this as kids. We grew up thinking that Strange Fruit was a real band, and there's even a character in the movie that looks a bit like our man Dante at the label here. It has a very similar vibe. So it's actually kind of like we're a bit like Strange Fruit, and we are kind of strange fruits, if you like. And so this is a song that when the band finally gets rocking, Strange Fruit, and this is before the big gig, they play this song, and we learned how to play it live. Actually, we used to play it in the set when we were just starting out as a band, and it's by Strange Fruit from the movie Still Crazy. It's called All Over the World.
G'day, this is Harry from Airbourne, and you're listening to a special My Planet Rocks on Planet Rock. I think this is probably a good time to introduce some of our UK family to a great Australian rock and roll band who probably don't get the kudos they deserve.
Yeah, definitely. Like a new band from Australia. If you haven't heard them yet, you will. The Lazies. They're a great rock and roll act from Australia, and they're starting to make inroads over here already. They've already been touring and giving it a good plug over here, and I think they're going to be back at some point soon. And they're a great live show. Great band.
Well, time's up.
That's it. It's all over, Red Rover. We've got to get back on tour, and look, we're going to be back here in the UK doing a 14-date run. So if you haven't got a ticket or you want to go, get over to the website and see if you can get yourself a ticket. But look, you've been rocking out with us. Thank you very much for joining us on this special here at Planet Rocks. Look, we've got to move on. But I tell you what, the new album's out now.
Bone Shaker.
So go and get it. Rock on. Do yourself a favour and Give your mother a kiss for us, and we'll see you soon. Catch
Rock
ya.
on.